Hi there guys, welcome back to the 8 Points. So we've got an unboxing. When I say unboxing, these are turning out to be more like reviews of the Iron Jaws. So what we'll do is we'll have a look inside the box, we'll build some models, and we'll have a look at the cards and abilities and all that kind of thing. So, I don't know why, I think that's such a cool touch to have their little faction symbol on the lip inside. So this is quite a big box. One, two, three sprues and a little one. Right, so what we get in the box. So we've got some Ardboys, and Ardboys with Ardboy choppers. Then we get a Brute with Gore Chopper, Brute Boss and Brute. So 5 of them. So how many models do we get? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. It's a little bit more than I expected. I did a sort of price breakdown of this box recently, and I've obviously got the numbers way off because those Ardboys, I was wondering how many of the Ardboys box we were going to get. Anyway, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different cards. We've got 1, 2 of these sort of duplicate cards as well, for fielding more than one fighter of the same type. We've got an abilities card. We have got token cards, so these have got the nice green hue for destruction on here, which I think is a very nice touch. What else have we got? All right, this will tell us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we get 10 spaces, which indicates to me that we get 10 models. So that's really cool. Really, really very cool. And if we look at the artwork on the back of here and compare it to what is on here, we can see that we get to build the vast majority of what's on the cards, it would appear anyway. Right, so I'm going to build some models, then we'll come back and take a look. So let's have a quick summary of this warband. Now, it's very much a tale of two halves, the Ardboys and the Brutes. The Brutes are the big guys that are going to be doing the most damage and that kind of thing. The Ardboys are where you get a little bit of balance, so you get to field a few more team members. Now, they've all got rubbish movement, so they're all movement of 3, but the leaders, we've got 3 leaders in this box. The leaders have got an ability which helps to kind of bring the rest of the group on, so that is good. So what we'll do is we'll go through everything individually. Wounds wise, everything's good. The cheaper ones have only got 15 wounds, but we go up to as far as 25 and 35 for the Brutes. So let's go through them individually. So we have got Ardboys with Auric Forge, Chopper and Smasher. Now this is the one from the artwork. And we actually had enough to build an extra model as well. So all of the artwork from the cards is represented in this box exactly, plus this one extra model. So pretty cool. So this is an old sculpt. This is a 2006 sculpt. So we're 14 years old on that. As you can see, poor movement, but a toughness of 4, which ain't too bad. 15 wounds. Rolls 4 dice with a strength of 4, doing 1 and 4 on a crit. Next up, we've got Ardboy with Auric Forge Chopper and Auric Forge Shield. That's what he looks like. So I'm not a big fan of these models, to be fair. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of the Ardboys, but I'm a massive fan of the Brutes. Okay, so base stats exactly the same there, except it's toughness 5. So rolls 3 dice on a strength of 4, doing 1 and 4 damage. Next up, we've got Odd Boy with Auric Forged Big Chopper, which is cool. Mainly the same stats there as well, except toughness 4, but doing 2 and 4 damage with 3 dice. And then we've got the last of the Odd Boys. So we've got Odd Boy Boss, so this one is a leader, with Auric Forged Chopper and Smasher. This probably is the best, my favourite one of the Odd Boys. So he's more expensive. He's 190 points, but he's got 25 wounds. He rolls 4 dice on a strength 5, doing 2 and 5 damage. So that's cool. That is good. And we'll come back to all the abilities in a minute. So that is the Odd Boys. So let's have a look now at the brutes. So let's start with Brute Boss with Boss Claw and Brute Smasher. So this guy is a leader as well. Okay, so he is 250 points, so much more expensive. 35 wounds, toughness 5, so he rolls 4 dice on a string 5, doing 2 and 5 damage. Now we've got our last leader, which is Brute Boss with Boss Chopper. His stats are quite similar, 35 wounds. So he only rolls 3 dice, but on a strength 6, doing 3 and 6 damage. Okay, and to round out the rest of them, we've got a Brute with Gore Chopper. This is a nice model. This is in contention for my favourite of the lot. So again, toughness 5, rolls 3 dice, doing 3 and 6 damage on a toughness on a strength of 5. So that's cool. So we've got the last ones. They're both worth 180 points each. We've got Brute with Jagged Gore Hacker. Two and 4 damage, strength 5, 3 dice. So that's cool. And then the last one, Brute with 2 Brute Choppers. Okay, so that's him there. So he's got 25 wounds, toughness 5. He rolls 4 dice on a strength 4, doing 2 and 4 damage. So they're quite handy in a fight, these guys. Let's check out the abilities, and let's work out what we've got. So they all can charge on a double. So charges. This fighter can use this ability only if there's a visible enemy fighter within 6 inches of them. This fighter makes a bonus move action and must finish closer to the closest visible enemy fighter than they were at the start of that move action. So there's a bit of, so you have to be 6 inches within 6 inches of an enemy. Now, you don't have to move towards that enemy. You can move towards another one. However, as long as you end closer to the nearest one, you can go in whichever direction you like. Next up, we've got double on another double. That's a shield bash. Now that is only available to one of our fighters, which is the Odd Boy with Auric Forged Chopper and Auric Forged Shield. That's this model. This fighter's next move action, this activation, pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch and roll a dice. On a 4 or 5, allocate 1 damage. On a 6, allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. Okay, then we've got a double, Duff Up the Big Thing. So this is available to all of our brutes. Till the end of this fighter's activation, add 2 to the attacks and strength characteristics of attack actions made by this fighter that have a range characteristic of 3 or less. The target an enemy fighter with a wounds characteristic of 15 or more. So as long as they've got 15 or more wounds and they're in range, you get to add 2 attacks. 2 to attacks and strength. So that's massive. That's really important. That's a big one for these guys. Now, for the leaders, this is a really good one. So it's a triple. This is wow. Add the value of this ability to the move characteristic of friendly fighters within 6 inches of this fighter when this fighter uses this ability until the end of the battle round. So basically, they can take their 3-inch move. Anyone that is within 6 inches of that leader, they can move whatever the ability of that dice roll is. So, you know, if potentially up to 6 inches, but unlikely. So that is really good. So that helps. Of course, you need a triple for it, but that really helps with their movement. Next, we've got the grab and bash. So that is available to a guy with the claw. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and roll a dice. On a 3-up until the end of the battle round, that fighter cannot make move actions or disengage. In addition, on a 6, this fighter can make a bonus attack against that enemy fighter. So that's cool. That's cool if you want to try and hold your hold the enemy leader in place or something like that, or stop them from running off and getting an objective. Okay, and then the quad, which is available to everyone, Rampaging Destroyer. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of attack actions made by this fighter. In addition, each time an enemy fighter is taken down by an attack action made by this fighter, this fighter can make a bonus move action. So it's adding 1 to attacks. In addition, if you take an enemy fighter down, they can make a bonus move. So that's good. That seems quite expensive for a quad though, I have to be honest. That seems fairly pricey to me. But, you know, all in all, I think they're a decent warband. Again, totally hamstrung by that movement. If you manage to get triples, it does help. So I haven't played with this warband before, but I used to play a lot of Cypher Laws, and at that time I played against this warband quite a few times. And basically, if this warband needed to move to capture objectives and that kind of thing, they did very, very badly. If it was just a straight fight and it was to kill the opponent's warband or take them down to half or anything like that, they were very, very good. It is interesting as well that depending on how you filled your lists for this, so it is an expensive warband. So, for example, if I wanted to do a warband of 4 brutes, so just 4 models would take up 810 points. So I'd only be able to add 1 more odd boy, just in the same way as if I really did sort of flush it out with 3 or 4 odd boys. Typically, you're looking really at getting a warband of maybe 7 models. You wouldn't get many more than that. Certainly if you did flood the field with odd boys, in which case you could only get a maximum of 9 on there. But if you chose to do that with your 1,000 points, it means that all of your warband would be taking away what's special about the orcs, which is an abundance of wounds. So there you go, guys. I do like the Iron Jaws. They're good. They're great in a fight. Really, really good. In terms of an actual warband that specialises in killing and taking down, they're up there with the best of them. So they are as good as the Orc Warclans and that kind of thing. So very, very cool warband from that perspective. But if your gameplay is going to be around collecting objectives and moving rapidly around the field, this is not going to work for you at all. But there you go, guys. That is the Iron Jaws. So coming up next, I have got the Flesh Eater Courts. And then coming up after that, I've got a video showing you how to build your own modular Warcry Catacombs board. So that will be coming in the next week or so. But thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. Like and subscribe and all that kind of thing. If you want to buy this warband, there's a link in the description for Element Games with a 20% discount. So thank you, guys. Much appreciated. See you later.